Hi everybody, this is Mr. McKee. This is for CTI 110 web programming. I know a lot of people had some issues with setting up their web server, Apache, and I just wanted to go through a short video and show you guys probably the best practice of how to do that. Okay, now I'm using Windows 10, so if you guys are using Windows 7, it's going to look a little bit different, but the procedures will be probably about the same. All right, got a USB drive. I would definitely recommend using this versus saving it on your desktop, especially in the lab because other people are using that computer. And also, you put it on the USB drive. You can take it home, take it to another computer, and still run your web server and be able to do your homework. All right. So first thing, I'm going to go ahead and put this USB drive in my computer. It's going to see it. You guys should be seeing my screen, hopefully. All right, so now this is not going to be named something, a default name, but I went ahead and named it my initials and then WEB for web server, so I'll know what that drive's for. All right, so first thing, and you can do that by right-clicking it. You can do rename. I can name it something else if I wanted to. As soon as you're done, just hit enter. It should update that. Okay, now we've got drive E right here, right now. Now the problem was, if you put this in another computer and you have different numbers of drives or different driver letters, it may do some weird stuff to your web server. All right, so and one of my students actually came up with this idea, and it sounded pretty good, so we're going to do that. Okay, so go down to search. All right, and we're going to search for disk management, which is going to be create and format hard disk partitions. Disk management will pop up. Okay, so depending on how you have your computer set up, disk 0 is your first disk. Okay, that has your hard drive. Don't touch that. But now disk 1 should be, and make sure it is, should be your USB drive. Okay, there's mine right there. I can see the name. I've already changed it. Okay, first thing I want to do, this is formatted as FAT32. I want to make that an NTFS partition. So what I'm going to do is right click it, click format. I'm going to format it as NTFS, and you can do this in command line if you'd rather do that. It's a little bit faster. I'm going to perform a quick format. That's fine. All right. So formatting this volume will erase all data on it, back up any data you want to keep before formatting. I would definitely do that. I've deleted all my files off my USB drive already. So I'm going to click OK. All right, it sits there in formats. I'm going to pause the video until it's about done. Okay, so that took about, I would say, 2 minutes to do. Looking at my drive now, I've got 59.62 gigabytes NTFS formatted. It's the E drive, so I'm going to change the drive letter. Probably best case, I would go with a W for the drive letter for web server. You shouldn't have that many drives on your computer. So, all right, change drive letter and paths. E drive. Again, before you do this, make sure you I would copy everything that's on that drive if there's anything to your desktop or to another drive before you go in here messing with anything. All right, change the drive letter. Assign the following drive letter. Radio button's already chosen for me. I'm going to click W. I'm going to click OK. It's going to say, okay, some programs that rely on drive letters might not run properly. That's fine. All right, so okay, so now we have my initials, NTM, WEB SRV, or web server, on the W drive. All right, now what we're going to do is go ahead, I'm going to close this down. We're going to go download our web server. So I want to go to Google Chrome. All right, and so you guys can see this. And ApacheFriends.org is the website. All right. And they've changed some of this. The old version of Xampp worked a little bit more friendly, I think. But we're going to go with this one. Okay, so here's our download. It should be Xampp for Windows, unless you're using something else. Most everybody's going to be using Windows. Click that. It's going to start downloading. Looks like 124 megabytes. So we're going to about a third of the way there. I'm just going to sit here and wait for it. Let me actually pause. I'm trying to keep this these videos as small as possible, file size wise. So let me just pause it. Okay, so I'm back to about 30 seconds. This new computer's screaming, so that's awesome. All right, so Xampp Win32. Okay, I can click it right here and start installing it. But if you don't have that, if you're not viewing your downloads, you can actually go to your file manager, go to downloads, and you'll see it in there also. Okay, so either way, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click open. All right, Xampp. All right, here's the tricky part though. Not really tricky, but here's where you don't want to choose the defaults. All right, and we get a UAC warning. You guys probably not going to get that. All right, setup. The only thing we don't want to have checked under select components is the Tomcat. Try to save our space a little bit on our USB drive. All right, the default C:\Xampp folder, we want to actually change that. So we want to go down here, make sure W drive selected, and if we just leave it the W drive, this is what we're going to get. All right, the selected folder is not empty. Please select a different folder. You have to make a Xampp folder. All right, so Xampp. All right, it should like that. All right, liked it. All right, next screen for setup, Bitnami for Xampp. Uncheck though where it says learn more about Bitnami for Xampp. All right, setup is ready now to install Xampp on your computer. Click next. All right, now we wait. All right, this might take a while since that file is fairly good size, especially if you guys have an older computer. I'm going to pause the video and let you guys know when it's done, about how long it took me. All right. Okay, we are back. It's taken about, I would say, about 10 minutes to install the program. All right, got a security alert. Windows Firewall has blocked some of the features. I'm going to allow the HTTP server to communicate on the networks, private networks such as home work. Have that checked. The other one doesn't need to be checked for public. Allow access. And hopefully we won't get any errors. All right, should be good. Awesome. Shut that down. All right, let's go to File Explorer. And here we go. Let's see what we got. All right, we got the W drive. We got Xampp. All right, and before I even start this thing, I'm going to go ahead and go to the Apache folder. I'm going to config, conf, and the config file for the Apache Web Server is http d.conf. Okay, configuration file. I'm going to open that. Open with. I'm going to choose Notepad. Okay. I'm going to scroll down. All these hashes you see on the file are lines that the program's not going to read. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is go in here, the listen for the port. Port 80 is just a standard web server. I'm going to make that port 81. And I'm going to scroll down again. And server name localhost 81. Okay, so I'll be able to use port 81 instead of port 80. Reason being, VMware, other programs, possibly Skype for Business, can already be using port 80, and it it's not going to let you use two applications at the same time. All right, so that looks good. Now, if you just hit File Save, it's going to save this config file as a text file, .txt file. All right, so File, Save As. Trick you can do. All right, HTTPD. There's a couple ways you can do it, but I'm going to do .conf for a config file, and I'm going to put quotes on the back and the front of that. So it's going to force that HTTPD file to save as the file extension that I'm specifying, which is a config file. All right, go ahead and click Save. Big thing, you want to make sure you do receive a confirm save as. It says the config file already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes. If you don't get that message, it means you're not going to overwrite the existing file. You're just going to save it as another file, probably a text file. All right, click yes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. And let's go back. Config. All right, HTTPD, that's good. All right, so just remember, if you change it to any port other than 80, port 81 or port whatever you want to make up, you have to include that port number in your web browser. Port 80 is just the standard, and it just truncates that off of the name for a regular website. All right, so I'm going to go back to Xampp. Scroll down. Okay, the Xampp.control, that's your control panel for the Xampp Web Server. So I'm going to double click that. First time you open it up, it's going to say, do you want it in American flag or a German flag? I want American flag since I speak English. I believe if you click the German flag, it's going to be in German. All right, so control panel comes up. You're going to get some messages. These are different. Apache Web Server, MySQL. The other things are different kinds of servers. We're not going to do that. Anything but Apache, and the last part of the class will be MySQL. Okay, before we start this is the big problem with the web server. If you start the web server and then you make configurations, you have to stop it, restart it. Okay, so before I start Apache Web Server, I want to go to Config. First selection at top is Apache configuration file. We've already changed it, but I just want to make sure it's right. All right, there we go. Not hashed, listen, port 81. Scroll down. Where are you at? We can do the find, Control F, 81. Shouldn't be but two 81s in there. All right, listen 81, that one's good. And server name, localhost -81. We are good to go. All right, I'm just going to close this down. Don't save it. All right, and then the config also. The second selection is Apache SSL. All right, so this looks just fabulous. All right, let's do word wrap. I wish it would do that, but I want to do find 443. All right, listen 443. This actually needs to be hashed out. So I'm going to do a hash right there. I'm going to do file, save as. Same thing with the other config file. I want to do .c1f. Put quotes. Just makes me feel better when I know for sure it's going to save it as that. Save. It already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, definitely. All right, shut this down. All right, cross your fingers. I'm going to start the Apache Web Server. All right, it's going to go red, and then it should work for a little bit, and then it's going to turn yellow and hopefully green. All right, so let's see. Under the net stat, okay, port 89. Should have a port 80. Let's see. All right, let's start it again. Alright, so we got the Xampp control panel up, and we're going to hit start again. Alright, got Apache, got a green background, that's pretty awesome. It tells me my port 81. We can go to netstat, check everything out. Alright, so, and even though we haven't set to start these, FileZilla, Mercury, stuff like that, it looks like they have actually started, so that's fine. In real life, though, you go through there and actually stop those. Okay, looking at the netstat TCP ports. There's port 81 that I've set up, and the service for Apache Web Server is the httpd.exe. Okay, we changed the httpd.conf configuration file that does configurations for the actual executable of the Apache Web Server. Alright, and just to let you guys know, little trivia, maybe useless trivia. The PID, process identification, 6812 on mine and 2796. If you guys open up Task Manager, if you do Control Delete and click Task Manager, or you just go to search and type in task, it will come up with Task Manager. Alright. It should come up to the processes side first. There's your two Apache web servers running. Okay, that's fine. And if you go over to details, process identifications, now you can look through here, but I'm going to go ahead and if you click the PID heading, it's sourced by process ID. Alright, my process ID 68. Alright, 6812, there it is. It shows me Apache Web HTTP server is running. Okay, and 2796. 2796 Apache Web Server. Alright, so it's running two processes. We see it's running. If you ever need to stop it, and you can't go here and stop it for some reason, maybe there's an issue, you can actually manually go into Task Manager and stop it. Right click it, end task. Alright, that's possible. Alright. So I'm going to shut that down. I don't want to do that. And I can click stop from there. Attention to stop Apache Web Server, those two. Alright, it shows that it stopped. I'll go ahead and start it again just to make sure. Different process IDs, that's fine. Those will change. Now you know where to go and check to see, make sure it's actually running. Netstat shows it also, and there's your PIDs listed there. Alright. Alright, that's really all I wanted to show you guys. Now if that is running, I can bring up a web server, a web browser. Let's bring this one up, close some of this stuff down. Great, I'm getting emails. So if I type in 192.27.0.1, alright, gotta put in :81 since I've changed the default port from a web server. If I click enter, alright, so I got that. That's the main page, takes you to the little dashboard. Now the one thing we want though, we want to make sure under our htdocs, see this one doesn't have it. Let me check the other one. htdocs. Alright, web tech, that's what we need. We need to make sure we have the web tech because that's what has all your files for the class. So maybe this is getting a little confusing. Make sure I'm on W. I'm on W under Xampp. Okay, this is this is on my desktop. I'm going to copy that web folder into here. htdocs, paste that. Alright, it's pretty big. There it goes. You'll see a bunch of HTML files, PHP files, some CSS files. That's fine. The big thing is I'll show you guys how to make sure it is in fact working. Alright, there's my web tech. Good to go. And NTM web serve. Alright, so let's go back here. Alright, so if we go take out the dashboard. Alright, let's see. htdocs. Okay, so web tech coursework. Oh, there's samples. I can go with that. This is the first assignment I was going to show you guys. If you go to that path, you're just basically testing to make sure your web server is working. All right, let's choose Claude Monet. Shows that. Okay, so you're good to go. I think hopefully everybody is working. If for some reason if your Apache web server is still not working, one thing to check: go to your config file, go in here one more time, because I know this is kind of confusing, but make sure your server root, for one thing, has a drive letter. If your installation somehow had an issue, you might be missing a drive letter. That might be something you have to update for the server root. Again, check, make sure you're you know what your port is. Okay, make sure your server name localhost : is and your has your same port number there. All right. And let me go back. Okay, that's about it. I'm going to stop this. Let's see. So looking at my W drive, so right now we have 577 megabytes on that Xampp folder. All right, so we're good to go for now. All right, I hope everybody enjoyed it and learned something. If you still have problems, let me know in class and we'll figure it out. All right, thanks.